Welcome back to another episode of Flatline Fowl. We're doing a gear dump. Every gear we use, so we're gonna go waders, duck decoys, goose decoys, layout blinds, just everything. We might even talk about what jackets you wear, boots, whatever.
Calls.
We're going over everything. So let's get started with waders.
That was broken.
I'm rocking some, I think they're 2019 or 2020 model. Drake's Guardian Elite in the timber. You know, so me and Dan both had Cabela's 3.5 millimeter neoprene waders. You know, talk about upgrade. These are an upgrade. They got the tearaway liner. We got a
Just continue.
We got a hand warmer right here on the inside, so it'll never get wet unless you're stupid and you fill your waders with water. We got a magnetic pocket right here, so I keep my phone. I keep my keys on this one actually in the zipper pocket. I keep these all full of shells usually, and I'll put my duck calls in here while we're walking so they're not clanging around. And that's always good. And then this zipper it's got to be somewhat waterproof because I've gotten it wet before and no water's in there, so I'll keep my wallet or my knife or something in there. But yeah,
they got a lot of storage.
Yeah, but by far my favorite part is this hand warmer.
Big hand warmer.
Because you just sit there, your hands in there, it keeps it warm.
Lady fingers getting cold.
And yeah, but they got the tearaway liners,
which is they're really warm.
Yeah.
Because I mean, up until literally like the late part of our season, I wore shorts in mine the entire time. So, like Joe's, mine are the Guardian Elites. However, mine are the 6-in-1s, so you can unzip the camo out layer, and it has just a plain brown. They've worked for like a season and a couple hunts in Pennsylvania last year. Haven't had any problems running into sticks and stuff. The neoprene waders, they're good if you're hunting in 65-degree water all the time.
Or you hunt 3 times a
year.
Yeah,
because none of us have gotten cold in these unless it was like 5 degrees the one day and we're standing in water. Yeah. That wasn't fun.
That never helps.
But you can't help that with anything. Like you can't keep your feet warm in that.
But
I think Seth's up next.
Yeah, well, I didn't bring mine, but I'm rocking the 4-in-1s, the Equator system, and it's pretty much the same thing as that. Just you can't take off the outer layer, and that's about all that's different. Besides,
these are also, I think we all have 1600 boots.
He's rocking Bottomlands. He's got Max 5. I got Timber. He's got Bottomlands.
So I have the Bandit Elite 2.0s. Honestly, didn't even know this when I ordered them. They have a light bar. At first I didn't really think it was anything that you needed, but it's awesome whenever you're like in the blind or whatever, looking for stuff, you need to turn the light on quick. And honestly, I got them on sale.
We all got ours on sale.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
I know they already talked about it, but
there's no point not getting them on sale.
They're originally, I think they're around $500, but I got them on sale. They're like 150 off, so I thought, why not? 10 times better than neoprene. Only complaint I have is they're pretty hard to dry out. You can't. I fall in the water a lot, in case you didn't know. But you can't take you can't take any layers apart. It's all one piece, which sucks. Yeah. And the other thing, whenever I had a couple fall-ins, took forever to dry them out. Went hunting, so they're still wet on the inside. I turned them inside out completely, and whenever I undid that and tried to put them back on, they started to rip.
I kind of like these shell holders a little better. Because I feel like this is what I had on my last waders, and pulling them up, I'm less likely to dump the shells in the water than pulling them sideways.
And they also have they have pockets in here on the inside.
Sherpa lined.
That are Sherpa lined. Super warm, honestly. I don't usually wear gloves whenever I'm duck hunting just because the feel of the gun. So if you can just stick your hands in here quick, warm them right up. So great waders, don't fall in the water, and you shouldn't have any problems. It does kind of suck that they started to rip on the first season, but it's not an important part of the wader. So, but I'd give them about an 8 out of 10. Definitely better than neoprene.
Oh, easily. Pro tip.
Yeah, for sure.
Pro tip.
The light bar is nice.
If you don't like wearing gloves, I don't care what brand you have that has this kind of a hand warmer. You throw a hot hand in that sucker, it'll stay warm for days,
Yeah.
like literally.
And it also sucks when you're hunting with a kid that's got neoprene waders and you got to end the hunt early because he's cold. So.
Okay. Might I add, if you know, you buy your stuff based on where you hunt. Don't just get the cheapest stuff because that's it.
Yeah.
Like they do make neoprene waders with 1,600 gram insulated boots. So if you're gonna get cold, just wear stuff and get the right stuff. Don't just get 400,
Yeah, and
$100
know
eBay
that-
waders. You're gonna get cold.
I don't know that you're just gonna get cold in any neoprene waders, but you will thank yourself when you're not walking around 60 extra pounds on your person.
Yeah.
Because those things are so
Like
ridiculous.
like you said, the linings in these are so warm that you just shorts for until it gets like well below freezing. You can just wear shorts underneath.
100 feet.
But
Yeah, you'd be good.
and also again, we hunt mostly when it's like the other morning we were goose hunting. It was 5 degrees out.
Yeah, because our second duck split is much better than our first duck split.
So we do most of our hunting during the
Most
second.
of our duck hunting, yes.
Yeah.
And so anytime we're in water, it's like
Much colder.
ridiculously cold.
Yeah, so you just buy your waders based on your region.
Where you
Obviously, don't just assume that.
I would say no matter where you are, try to get insulated waders.
Because you always, well,
You can always
can't always take them
Like
out.
with these, if I was hunting
But
teal
then you just wear
season down
shorts.
south, I can rip that out
more
if it's 70
flexible,
degrees, and then if I sweat, they're breathable, so it'll be fine. These are just big bags.
You got more variety and ability
Yeah.
with breathable waders
As
in all
Dan
climates.
has said in a really angry tone while we're hunting, waders aren't made to be ran in, but these are a little better than neoprene waders because you start trying to run in neoprene waders, you're falling every time.
Yeah.
And if you're running in the water, you're wet.
Yeah, that's the thing with durability. Everybody's always complaining that, you know, oh, this brand rips and this does this and this does that. You're literally just supposed to stand there. Like, you just stand there. Like, I don't know, you're running a marathon on your waders.
Goose's foot is that big.
All right, so for field hunts, for ducks, particularly we only see usually black ducks and some mallards. We got some avian X full bodies here. Fully, well not fully, the head's flocked on the drakes. I don't think they are on the hens, but they're nice and big. They stand out good in the field. We got a dozen, pretty expensive, but they are nice and the detail is great. They stand out good, like I said before. And usually when you're field hunting ducks in New York, you're trying to traffic because only a few land in there anyways. And you got the big ones like this, catches their eye pretty good. And we also are using these ones, which are...
So these are GHGs. Heads are also flocked. These are actually similar in price if you buy them by the half dozen to the Avian X. And to be honest with you, I personally like them more. They're a little bit smaller than the Avian X decoys, but also come with 2 different types of stakes. As it gets later in the season, it's hard to poke through cornfields and stuff if they're super frozen. So this also gives you, they give you another option of how to set the decoys. To get a little more specific, these are the GHG Pro Grade series. They also have legs that, not a huge deal, but they do have legs that fold in and stick out, just for a little more realism.
Well, you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dane.
And but personally, these are just as good, if not better, than the Avian X decoys in my opinion. They look great, and but with any full body duck decoys that are reasonably priced, they're a little more expensive than they should be, in my opinion. But definitely 2 super nice decoys, and I don't think you'd go wrong getting either brand. So now we're moving on to our floating duck decoys. We have kind of an assortment here. Where we hunt, usually don't need a lot of decoys because unfortunately we don't have tons of birds. But I think the most we've ran is between 3 and 4 dozen duck decoys. Primarily we run mallards because that's most of the ducks we see, between mallards, black ducks, woodies in the early season, teal earlier in the season. But I actually just got these this year. Love them. Avian X full body
Magnum.
Avian X Magnums.
Yeah.
They're bigger decoys than you typically get, and it's nice just because they stand out. And Avian X does make beautiful decoys. They're just a little pricey, but I definitely think they're worth it if you can afford it. It's And just this fact that the decoys are a little bit bigger, they stand out better, because we hunt a lot of ducks that are just flying along rivers and stuff, so they can get their eyes on something big. This definitely helps.
Yeah, and other than that, we just got a mix. We got some Higdons. Nola's the only one that has magnet decoys, which is probably better, but we just don't happen to have.
This is a difference in size. Too.
Yeah, look at that.
It's honestly probably
twice almost,
twice
50%
close
bigger.
to it.
So we got some Higdons, some hardcores. We ran a couple of these freaking Mojo Ripplers.
Hands down, pay money for motion decoys because cheap ones suck.
Look at that.
Absolutely
Honestly
suck.
though, so I wasn't on the hunt when they figured out that the Rippler I had was absolute garbage, or dog water as they say these days.
Watch your profanity.
But any Mojo motion decoy that is under $50 or $60, do not buy it.
I will say the
last year,
Rippler
too.
like just doesn't look very natural because it just looks like a duck like gyrating in the water, which isn't normal. And nose happened to be shot by somebody, and it had a chunk of ice in it, and so this sucker looked like the Titanic the whole time, just like keeled over in the
Not
water.
necessarily the decoy's fault.
Yeah, granted, that's not the decoy's fault. They just don't look realistic, and they don't make enough motion.
I would much rather use a jerk rig than a Rippler to try to put motion in my
They
decoys.
don't make enough motion to make up for the fact that they just do not look
Yeah, because the
realistic
paint
at all.
jobs are pretty terrible. Like, look, this.
At least that one's
this is
really the
like
butt of a
ice.
decoy.
This is like ice blue.
Okay. Well,
And
while
this
we're
is like
talking about
brown.
the Mojos, I'm gonna throw this in there.
Like that. That's just not realistic.
So,
Yeah.
so kind of piggybacking on the Rippler, this is Mojo's cheapest line of spinning decoys. I have a couple baby Drake Mojos that you've seen in videos. They work, definitely work. We've decoyed birds, no problem with them. But there's been a few instances where we show up, I've charged the decoys the night before and they just won't turn on. Usually it's based on the cold. If you guys don't have cold weather, then you're probably fine. But anytime that it starts to get cold, along with anything, because they are battery powered, they don't work great. They're not super reliable. Also, if you spend a little bit more money, you can get nicer Mojo spinning decoys, or you can head over to Lucky Duck, which I think we're gonna do in the future. They just make nice looking decoys.
Or the new Avian X, they came out with the new spinner. That looks really good.
I don't like trying new
But
stuff.
these work for starting out. We don't do a whole lot of field hunting. These work in the field, but even in the water. Especially the fact that Mojo, for some reason, gives you stakes that are 3 feet long.
I was about to
and
mention that.
the difficulty of pushing those into the creek bed or whatever, because they're not pointed, they're like spade tipped, super difficult.
Well, and if the water's more than 1.5 feet deep,
It's irrelevant.
it doesn't look good at all because then it looks like the butt of the Mojo's like in the water.
Yeah, and by that time,
It's just
they
not
ain't
worth
spinning.
it. So if you are gonna buy a Mojo brand spinning wing, get an extra extendo pole for it because it's just not worth it to use with the one it comes with.
Okay, so our next segment here, we're going to talk about our goose hunting gear and such. As you can tell by, if you've watched most of our videos or any, we're much bigger into goose hunting, and we do a
Why
lot
is
more
that?
of it and have
More
a
geese.
lot more geese than we do have ducks, honestly. So
We're like near professional at that also.
I wouldn't go that far.
We during early season.
I mean, we get it done for the most part. We can get it done.
Yeah.
And so does Joe Schmo down at the gas station. On the
No.
weekend.
So,
We shoot more geese than anybody around here is what I'm trying to get at. So we know.
we figured out how to goose hunt. We figured that one out. So most of our goose hunting obviously happens also in the early season because for whatever reason, New York State, I mean, there might be some reason that I'm unaware of, but we have the most strict limits on ducks and geese during regular hunting seasons. So like we can only shoot 2 mallards during duck season, and
One of which can be a hen.
Well, yeah.
You can't shoot 2 hens.
no. So, and then also regular, for, what do we got? We got early season,
Early
it's
season.
15 birds a person, which is great, because not a lot of states have that. But when you switch over to regular season, they split the state up into like 40 different boundaries.
You could shoot 1 some places, 2 some
Across
places.
the road, you can shoot 5. But most,
closes.
yeah, then it closes in most places and it's open. Like it's wild. So goose hunting during late season usually isn't worth it to go set out 20 dozen decoys to shoot 3 geese. So most of our hunting happens in the spring, or not spring.
September.
September.
Early season.
With that, we got a lot of loaf hunting, which we got into more this year, and just obviously cut field hunting. So for our floater loaf hunts, I mean, we use them when the opportunity shows itself. We use it. We have a mixture of these
Nice decoys.
yeah, nice decoys and decoys that kind of look like geese from far away. So we got a couple Avian X decoys that are flocked and just, again, you pay more money, you get better quality, because you hold these two things together. This one looks 10 times more like a goose than this thing does. I mean, granted, this will get you more of a spread faster because it's cheaper and more.
But if your dad's got a big bank account, you can get those.
Yeah, yeah. So exactly.
I'm pretty sure for 4 of those, it's like
$150, $60. So you gotta watch it with these. But again, you're getting a nicer decoy.
They actually look like a goose from 5 feet away, sitting in a
Yeah,
wall.
yeah.
Like Joe would probably shoot one
Yeah,
of these.
I think someone has shot one of my Avian X's.
It wasn't me.
But a leader. So I think we have over a dozen or more of the Cabela's Northern Flaylands, which again, they get the job done.
Yeah, I got a couple up there.
And maybe, I think I have 8 of these Avian X's, which is just enough to add realism to the spread on a loaf hunt. Okay, so now we're gonna break into our field hunting setups. And in the past, when, again, we were just getting into things, we mostly ran the newest version of the Cabela's Bigfoots, which are nice decoys. The only problem is, if you don't have a trailer, it is hard to hunt with these because they take up a lot of space. So, as we got better at this, we decided to upgrade and also consolidate. Well, on the topic of the old dive bomb
bags.
This is what we are running currently for our camera gear. They're the dive bomb. I think they're just called dry bags.
Dry bags, yeah.
They came out with a bunch of new ones.
They have a new line of them now.
But they're waterproof. They float. And before we decided to take a trip with college friends up to the St. Lawrence River, we decided probably it'd be a good idea to get some floating.
We were hunting in the water
And kayaking through lots of water, and it was. We were standing. There was no dry land at any point in the hunt, so we were like, "Well."
And it's a little scary bringing $1,000 worth of camera gear, thousands of dollars worth of camera gear, like
out in there just on a kayak in the dark. So.
And not to mention, it was pouring for those 2 days that we hunted there. Everything in the bag stayed dry. So, also we're not sponsored by Dive Bomb. Have to throw that in there, obviously.
But they do make some great stuff.
They make some awesome stuff. Definitely worth it. Their bags are awesome for their decoys and stuff. We're gonna be getting more of those.
Let's get this one up.
While we're talking about backpacks, I'm running the Rig'em Stump Jumper, I think it's called. Just got it this year. I really like it. It's got a shell pouch. I keep my drink in this pouch. Doesn't ever spill on me. Just a big pouch. No, actually, it's the same one.
I have the same exact bag.
Think he likes it.
I've had it for 2 years.
GoPro
No
fits nice
problem.
on the side. Never used
GoPro
it.
that he never uses fits perfect in there. Perfect little bag just for little duck holes.
It's small enough that you're not going to fill it up with so much stuff that you're going to lose stuff.
And good size for layout blind.
Yeah, let's just touch on layout blinds real quick. Me and Noah have the Northern Flight. I can't remember what it's called.
Renegade series?
It's a Renegade series, but it's the bigger one.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Big Mondo.
I'm no Goose, but I would say ours are a lot harder to conceal because it's taller and wider, which is nice for laying in. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Super comfortable.
It takes longer to brush in, and there's a bigger shadow when the sun does come out. Just 2 downsides. But other than that, it's really comfortable. I like it. It's got a big zipper on it, so you can clean it out, hose it out the inside.
And just the fact that it is bigger does make it take longer to brush in and stuff. But honestly, I would recommend the bigger layout.
Yeah,
it's just more
Seth's
comfortable.
also running a Northern Flight layout, just a smaller one that's a lot more portable. I mean, ours are portable, but they're not as portable.
And ours do have the back straps also, which is super nice whenever you're walking through the field. Which does bring me to another point. Jet sled, if you're not allowed to drive in the field, highly recommend a jet sled. We have a couple of them in the truck right now. They are super convenient just to throw stuff in and drag so you don't have to carry.
You better have your cardio, okay, because you drag that sucker a quarter mile, it ain't fun.
Yeah, but it's a lot better than carrying stuff.
Yes.
So.
And the dive bomb bags fit perfectly in the jet, like the regular size jet sleds, so you don't have to carry those.
Pretty much it.
Oh, most of us are running like, I think all of us have Drake's jackets that we run.
I actually brought mine.
Most of ours are the Equator systems, like Noah's about to show you, Equator.
Yep. I think I got this on sale. Again, they run sales year round. You just gotta wait for what you want and find it on sale. I think I paid a little over $100 for this jacket.
Same.
And what I really like comes in with a built-in neck gaiter.
Oh, I hate that.
Super warm. I don't know why you would not like that,
Oh,
but
I
super
built
warm
that.
whenever it gets cold and stuff. I love the jacket.
Me and Noah wear lacrosse boots just because we found that that's what we like. I know
Dan's making fun of us.
Seth's a big dry shot guy, which a lot of people are now.
Wow.
Yeah, because those are actually a really good value. Because like my boots, I paid like way too much money for. I think they're a little overpriced. Dan likes the muck boot, the Wetlands. He's a big fan of those. Mine are the Arrowhead Sports.
All right, so that is just about everything that we use when it comes to goose and duck hunting. We're still learning, so if there's anything that we might have forgotten, let us know down in the comments. We feel like we covered everything pretty well, so hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. We're getting close to 1,000. We will be doing a giveaway. Check out our Instagram to see the details for that. And hope you guys enjoyed the video.
I did.